Good day, sir. Third class engine cadet Ami speaking, and today I'm going to explain all about the 12 Occupation Health and Safety Protocol, or also known as OHSP. Have a thorough discussion about it and elaborate as to why they must be observed responsibly. So, without further ado, let's start with number 1. The first one is, do not work alone so that there's someone who can take care of you in case of an emergency. The foundation of this OHSP discussion. You can be cautious of all the procedures, of all the things that we are about to discuss down below, yet we can never eliminate the risk and all the potential danger it poses. So in an event that we got the trouble and there is no one around, it will be hard to recover. And worst case scenario, we can get the situation under control and it will lead down to our own demise. Number 2, always power off the computer and unplug the computer before working on it. Live wire is the enemy of any electrician or someone working with computers. For example, despite having the insulated gloves, will not prevent you from harm. Improper connection or handling of the wires and components will cause short circuits, leading to harm and death. Number 3, take away any liquid near your working area to avoid getting electrocuted or accidentally damaging your computer parts. Water is a good conductor for electricity. Pouring one on your wire and computer components is a bad way to go. It is our best interest to observe this protocol despite having the inconvenience of having that cold water on a warm summer afternoon or hot coffee for a night shift. Your computer will thank you. Number 4, be careful with tools that may cause a short circuit. Computers and its inner components are very sensitive to its very core. One irresponsible action will damage it and even cause short circuits. For example, inside the CPU, especially on the motherboard, there are parts that needs to be wired using IDE or SATA cables to connect to the motherboard. If these wires are loosely or wrongly attached to the board, you can expect short circuits or other damages as well. To prevent this from happening, ensure that the wires are correctly attached to the board and the wires. Number 5, always ground or discharge yourself before touching any part of the computer. An occasional tickle of the electricity is surely inconvenient, but a painful shock isn't. Electric shocks are inevitable when working with computers, so it's best to ground yourself before experiencing that electrostatic discharge. One way, on the other hand, of discharging yourself is by touching the metal part of the chassis itself prior to handling the components. Number 6, do not use excessive force if things don't quite slip into place. Computers' sense components are precise to the core. A technician shall be aware of this. So, as a prerequisite, components have its particular way of being attached from one another. So if one doesn't quite well slip into things, forcing one's way into it is not a good idea and will only cause irreversible damage into it. As an example, I have my way with this idea when I was younger. I really just want things to fit the way I wanted, without a second thought on how everything should be on place. I am left with a complete jumble of mess with my toys as well as personal things on my mother's side. So please learn from my younger self and do yourself a favor and have a little effort to do things right. Next, number 7. Clean the area before and after using it to maintain sanitation and prevent accidents. A lot of people undermine this idea. I always believe in a Japanese saying, clean place, clean mind. Not to mention the 5S they invented. Having a hygienic workplace brings a lot of underrated benefits. On my case, I genuinely want to have a clean working space. All the necessities are there on the table. The excess things are then placed inside a bag. I can focus more on my task at hand this way. Suppose you do your tasks with a disorganized place. In case of an emergency and you want to get the right tool immediately, you have to browse through your dirty workspace and you will lose precious time. The next, number 8. Hold the components on the edges and do not touch the integrated circuit or IC parts. As stated earlier, computer parts are sensitive to the core. These active parts, if touched, will leave dirt marks and smudges that will potentially hinder its performance in the long run and even damage it. Holding it by the edges frees it from active parts of being dirty and damaged, leaving your piece clean and efficient at its work. Number 7. The next is number 9. Always wear personal protective equipment or PPE in accordance with the organization's OHS procedures and practices. The most important of the list here: safety first. Your personal safety will save you and your colleague from death's race. Not only does this minimize the harm to yourself, but as well as establish a safe working environment and a healthy mindset towards safety that you will carry throughout your career. In an event that you forgot to use PPEs, it's like going into war naked. Harm is waiting at you at the other side. A specific example would be soldering electrical components, for example. One PPE would be the clothing. Long-sleeved PPE is required to protect oneself from splashes soldering electric connections may cause. Number 10. Make sure the pins are properly aligned when connecting a cable connector. Make sure you have the knowledge as to what goes to where when connecting cables, just like having the proper knowledge as to what wires to deactivate when defusing a bomb. Misplaced wire connection or unpinned ones will damage your equipment and sometimes even jam them. So make sure to do things right. Number 11. Contingency measures during workplace accidents, fire, and other emergencies are recognized. Just as risks cannot be virtually eliminated, all we can do is minimize it or act an efficient contingency plan in an event one occurs. Frequent drills are surely boring and repetitive, but you can never have another drill when you are burned to the ground because you neglected a fire drill your respective company administered. On my case, on my first year as a cadet here at UZLM, I have already experienced at least 2 earthquakes, and I wholeheartedly thanked our dormitory exercise earthquake drills. Sharp and a flexible mind beats it. And last but not the least, use a brush, compressed air, or blower in cleaning the computer system. Proper installation, utilization, repair, and maintenance are all interconnected to ensure the longevity of computer system. Having unconventional means of cleaning the computer system will surely damage it. Hard brush, for example, is a huge red flag in cleaning the computer system. It will leave deep scratches that will leave a lasting damage to your system. So please, always, there are always something for anything. Good afternoon, sir. So at this moment, I'm going to give 3 examples giving a situation about the OHSP. The first one will be the using of proper PPE. As you all know, PPE is important when we are doing anything work-related. So what we have here is a coverall. Coverall are designed to protect our body from any external harm, such as heat, cold, and other sparks that can be caused when working in an environment. The next is the gloves. Hands are the most vulnerable when we are working in an office, or whether it is a technical aspect. So, gloves are designed to protect our hands from many sharp objects, as well as any external factors as well, such as heat, cold, and hot surfaces earlier. And lastly is the boots, or any footwears. Footwears are then designed to protect our feet from any external factors, debris, as well as improve our footwork when we are working. The next example I would be giving is establishing a clean working area, as what you can see in here. When working in an office area, make sure that only the necessary things are in the table. In my case, I'm only using a laptop, a mouse, and that's it. The rest are placed inside the bag to avoid disorganization. And lastly, establishing clean and efficient contingency measures in your company or respective offices. What we have here is a equipment designed to fight fires outbreak. So, whatever it is given on the manual, just follow the instructions. In this case, break glass in case of fire. And next is the fire extinguishers. As we are all familiar with, it is designed to kill fire in case of fire outbreak. That's all. Thank you for watching. So, that is all I have to say. All of this 12 OHSP discussion. Remember to practice a mindful thought when doing things, since a sharp mind and a flexible one will save you a great deal. Once again, 3rd Class Engine Cadet Army. Thank you for watching.